What's up guys, Xeno Gaming back here for the third episode of my career mode. We are here today at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix for the Baku City Street Circuit. The last episode at the Chinese Grand Prix, I've lost the video files for it, so unfortunately I cannot bring that episode to you today. We did able to get our best result of the season and finish 7th, which was really good for the Serbo, our first points of our career. And here we can see we got a weight reduction that has failed, but we do get a new gearbox reliability update, which should help. But yeah, so 7th for the Chinese Grand Prix. We weren't best of the rest because Kevin Magnussen beat us to 6th place, but that's because Hamilton had some issues, and that's why it was 6th and 7th with us two. And I think Hamilton ended up finishing 8th. He had some issues. He was catching me at the end of the race, but wasn't able to get me. But here we go. We'll throw it to Crofty for the weekend introduction.
Welcome to the Baku City Circuit, where free practice for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix is about to get underway. This is a technical circuit which will nonetheless see some huge speeds with a near flat-out final sector that's twice the length of Shanghai's back straight. Let's see who can find the right balance in their setup today. Welcome then to all our viewers, and of course to Anthony Davidson as well. Now Ant, I wanted to ask you, obviously there's a lot of hard work involved in these sessions, a lot of simulations as well. Is this something the drivers enjoy, or is it just a routine that becomes a chore?
There's nothing routine about driving a Formula 1 car, I can tell you that. 300 kilometers per hour down the straights, 4G through the corners. It's hard to ignore those forces acting on your body. It's lap after lap of hard, exhausting work. You always enjoy driving these cars, it's a real privilege. Although I must say, if you're having a day where you can't get the car to do what you want and it's generally underperforming, then it's a lot harder to stay motivated. But never a chore, no. Even if you're having a tough start to the weekend, at this point you know that if you work hard at it, there's still an opportunity to turn things around.
Welcome guys to the Azerbaijan Grand Prix here at
Carl
Baku.
probably mentioned the new parts that have come in from the factory. Well, they're all fitted and good to go. I hope they do the trick.
Thanks, Jeff. We do get the new reliability update to the gearbox, but we're going to not worry about practice. We went through practice, no problems, passed all the programs. So we're going to jump straight into qualifying, where the real action begins, and we'll throw it back to David Croft for the qualifying introduction.
The circuit has rubbed in with practice, but this is still going to be a difficult session for our drivers as they fight for pole position. Welcome to qualifying here in Azerbaijan. When it comes to getting lap time out of this circuit, it's traditionally been about maximizing top speed. Do you simply remove as much downforce as possible, hang on into the corners and max out down the straights?
Top speed is a key factor for this circuit. Even if you can achieve the same lap time as someone running less wing than you, chances are you'll find overtaking difficult if you have too much drag.
So we're going to get straight into it here at qualifying for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. We would come here for our first flying lap here at the end, and we would set a 1 minute 40.8. It was quite a good lap. I didn't make any mistakes, but it just really wasn't quick enough. Probably was taking a bit of care, trying to not make any mistakes, and probably just didn't extract the pace. But here we are on the in lap.
The DRS, you won't be able to open the rear wing. We're working on a fix. Stay out.
We're here on the in lap, and we get some bad news here from Jeff that we got a fault to the DRS rear wing, and it's quite unfortunate for a circuit like Baku to get a fault to the DRS. So we're coming back to the pits now, and still about 10 minutes left in the session. We're just hoping that can be fixed for the next run as we come into the pits. But going back to our first lap, there was quite a good lap, just wasn't quick enough. Probably, like I said, wasn't extracting the full potential from the car itself. And yeah, Leclerc was quite a bit ahead of us in that first run, so not ideal start to the qualifying session with not the best, not optimising the first lap, and then also getting the news to the DRS. As we can see, it's going to take 4 minutes for the DRS to rectify itself.
Car repairs have set us back a little. Our best lap so far is a 1:40.8.
So yeah, not ideal, as we now will change onto a fresh set of tyres. But with 9 minutes left, 10 minutes left in the session, it's probably just going to be one more run for us here in Q1. And as we now flip over to the timing screens, you can see that Vettel right now has the quickest time in Q1, but you can see that Leclerc's done a 39.9, which is quite a ways ahead of our time of 140.8. So we've got a lot of ground to make up, and a lot of that time is coming in the first sector. So not sure why we're so slow through that first sector, but as we come now out for the outlap of our second run with 2 minutes left in the session, as we come through,
Your DRS is offline. The rear wing is down, so you can stay out while we work on a fix.
we still do not have a working DRS, which is not ideal for the lap around Baku. As you can see, we're coming into turn 1 now, hitting that 100 metre, that side of the curve really to brake, and then we hit that apex nicely. So we come in now 50 metre board, hit that apex again nicely, but as we come out of the turn 2 exit, we still do not have the abilities to use DRS. So this is costing us massively down the straight. You can see the delta time moving. Even now here comes to the end of the lap, we do manage to improve through the middle part of the lap, but without the use of DRS, it probably cost us a good half a second maybe, and it's only 19th on the grid for the Baku Grand Prix, which isn't a disaster considering it's quite easy to overtake around here. But as you can see, Leclerc was able to put in 10th place here for Q1. So I was thinking about maybe changing an engine, putting in a fresh engine, but I decided to stick with the old engine. I'm trying to I don't want grid penalties later in the season. I'm trying to extract as much as I can from these engines, just squeeze out every last little bit before it's too late and I need to change it. So that was the thinking there. I don't know, maybe I should have taken a grid penalty, but anyway, we're going to throw it to Crofty for the race introduction and the grid for the Baku Grand Prix.
Good afternoon and welcome to Baku. This was the arena, if you think back to 2017, of one of the most eventful races of modern history, with controversy behind the safety car, last-second overtakes, and a historic podium for Williams and for Lance Stroll. So let's find out what lies in store for us this year. It's time for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. It's 3.7 miles around a lap of Baku City Circuit then, with 7 rights and 13 lefts, giving us a total of 20 corners. The cars today will be reaching top speeds of around 215 miles per hour, maybe even a little bit more, with a slipstream and DRS assistance. Anthony Davidson joins me today as we look ahead to something just a little bit different. It's quite high speed for a street circuit here, isn't it? Do you think that's going to throw up any unexpected situations?
Well, as long as the teams can keep everything cool, I don't foresee any particular big issues from a technical side of things. I do expect the track to be quite slippery though. We've not exactly had much chance to rubber in the surface. Any street circuit also comes with its own challenges, so I think we'll be seeing a few mistakes here and there. The smart strategy would be to expect a safety car, I think, especially early on when the pack is bunched up.
So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. Sebastian Vettel will start on pole. Fantastic qualifying from the multiple world champion. And Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Raikkonen, Esteban Ocon and Ricciardo, Verstappen, Sainz, Leclerc and Nico Hülkenberg, Grosjean, Magnussen, Fernando Alonso and Gasly, Hamilton, Hartley, Stoffel Van Dorn and Lance Stroll. The captain and Sergei Sirotkin rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Welcome to the
Now that
Azerbaijan
we've got some points on
Grand
the
Prix.
board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
Welcome to the Azerbaijan Grand Prix after being rudely interrupted by Jeff there. Yes, he is talking about the 7th place we did take in China, but we're looking to improve here at Baku. Quite a mixed up grid as you saw. Perez really doing well. He out-qualified Raikkonen and is actually 3rd in the grid. Hamilton has got a grid penalty and is back in 15th, so really a topsy-turvy grid, and both the Force Indies out-qualified both the Red Bulls, so the Mercedes power unit really coming in handy for them. As you can see here with the strategy today, we're looking to do a one-stop as the the game wouldn't let me switch it over, so I had to add a stint, take it back off. But anyway, going to go from the soft tyre to the super soft as the strategy today. I thought being back in the pack, I'd try and make a late charge at the end of the race today and just try and hold on through the first stint, really. I thought that was the thinking, try and make up places at the end of the race, and yeah, just try and hold on for the first half of the race as much as we can. 26 laps around this track as we now come here for the start of the Grand Prix, and really going to be a tough one for us today, starting P19 on the back row of the grid. Not ideal with our teammate Leclerc 10 places ahead in 9th, but here we go. 5 red lights. The Azerbaijan Grand Prix is go, and we get quite a decent start. Minimal list. Oh, there we go. Lose the back end, and now the whole field is ahead of us. But maybe a good thing as we're not in the thick of it, and Stroll and Hartley, Sorokin, Van Dorn, they've all had issues, and we managed to avoid any drama. We're losing a bit of time, but we avoid the drama. Romano does, coming through here, and now we are into P17, and I believe Lance Stroll is out of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. His race has ended after 500 metres into turn 1, which is not ideal for him, as now we are chasing after the rest of the pack here. So yes, there it is, confirmed. Lance Stroll is out of the race. Not ideal for him and the Williams team, who have been struggling this season anyway, and now he's got to have to retire after one corner. Here we are chasing after the rest of the pack, and we are behind Sergei Sorokin in the Williams, who does have a damaged car, as you can see, but he's managing to keep up with Lewis Hamilton, that's actually just ahead, who's now 15th, so Hamilton still hasn't made up any places on this first lap, which is not ideal for his Grand Prix. And but you can see here the Williams just absolutely struggling, holding us up in the middle sector, but there's no way through here in this middle sector, as we're just going to have to sit behind the Williams, as he's losing ample time to the cars ahead as we now come through this tight turn 15. Almost put it in the wall, though, very close, but we managed to survive for the opening lap, and now we're going to have a really
That's a decent start. Good job.
Thanks, Jeff. And we're going to have a really good slipstream down to turn 1 here on the Williams car. We have to lift off to avoid making contact with the wall, but now we're right behind Sorokin here. We decided to go to the inside here, and I didn't know at the time that he had damage there, and he wanted to get into the pit lane, so there you go, he goes into the pit lane, and we move into P16, now chasing after Fernando Alonso after Hamilton has used his Mercedes power to get past him. And now we cut here onto lap 8. It just took us that long on the soft tyre, remember, to catch the chasing the pack, and so we're still about a second behind Alonso here, but we do have now Sergio Perez for company, as Alonso and Gasly are constantly switching places, as now you can see Gasly's the one ahead, but we're going to have to defend here from Perez into turn 1. He's on fresh tyres, and he started this race on the ultra soft tyres, now switched to the super soft, and into turn 1 he's not quite able to do it, as you can see Gasly going around the outside of Fernando Alonso. Alonso's going to have the corner for turn 2 and the inside positioning, so he's going to be able to maintain it. Gasly can't quite stick around the outside. Now we've got DRS on Pierre Gasly and Fernando Alonso. We're going to make it up the inside here of Gasly, and maybe possibly even Fernando here, but on the inside they decided to back out and brake early. As you can see, Gasly's trying to go around the outside, didn't decide to make it 3 wide, but Gasly gets a poor run out of turn 3 on the outside here. Now we brake a bit later than him, go around the outside, use all the road, lock up slightly in the front line.
Okay, good work, great pass.
That move done, as we get interrupted really by Jeff again, but it's okay, as now we're chasing after Fernando Alonso in the McLaren here. Now moving on to lap 11, you can see in the bottom left of the screen on the mini-map that there is a yellow flag there, and it's our teammate Charles Leclerc, who is out of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix with some sort of mechanical failure, which is unfortunate for the Sauber team, because Leclerc was looking quite strong for us. So he was on the 2-stop strategy, so I think we would have been able to beat him today.
The leader is 20.0
Here we go
seconds.
now on lap 13 into turn 1. Perez finally gets the job done on us. We just can't hold him back any further, and now we've got the Red Bull of Daniel Ricciardo for company. You can see how well Perez is doing, as we get a horrible run through turn 2, and now Ricciardo is right up our chuff, and with the DRS has saved us here, but the fact that we got it off Sergio, so we're able to maintain our position into turn 3 over Ricciardo for this lap. But you can see how well the Force India of Perez is going, actually ahead of the Red Bull of Daniel Ricciardo. So really strong performance so far from Sergio Perez, using that Mercedes power unit to full advantage. And now as we move on to lap 13, we're under pressure here from Ricciardo on the main straight, and however he will dive into the pits for his second pit stop. So he's made
Gap to car in front is 12.0 seconds.
So Perez,
the gap behind is 1.7 seconds.
Thanks, Jeff, for that information. So Perez and Ricciardo both doing a pit stop. Two
The
pit
car
stops.
ahead has come in and fitted the soft tyre.
Jeff again interrupting us here. As Verstappen now on our inside into the fast left, and we have to lift right off, and he doesn't quite get it done. And I don't know, he's cost us both time here, considering he will now just come into the pits. So I'm not sure what Verstappen was quite doing, as I actually come into the pits, not Verstappen, sorry for that. So yeah, back to my earlier point, Ricciardo and Perez done 2 pit stops before we even make our first lap. Now we're finally in on lap 15 for our first pit stop. So Verstappen cost us quite a bit of time and momentum down the straight heading into the pits, but that's okay, as we now come in to put on the super soft tyre, the faster of the 2 tyres we will use today.
Go now.
I did have a thought of putting on the ultra soft tyres. We can
Look
see
after these
Ocon and
tyres
Gasly
now.
battling
We
hard
want to finish
as we
the
come
race
out
on
of
this
pit lane,
compound.
and we're just going to come out ahead of Carlos Sainz. I did think about putting on the ultra soft tyre, but I thought with 10 laps to go it wasn't worth that risk. It might have been able to stretch it to the end, but I thought I'll just play it safe rather than be sorry and put on the super soft tyre, as now we're under pressure from Carlos Sainz here on the straight as we come out of the pit lane, but we managed to keep the position as Ocon is able to get past Gasly ahead. And Gasly is now on the soft tyre, and so is Carlos Sainz. So we do have a tyre advantage around the guys behind, but Carlos Sainz has managed to. We do have DRS and Gasly, but Carlos Sainz has got a great run in the Renault. He's up on the outside of us. We've got to defend the position hard as we're gaining a lot of time on Pierre Gasly, who has not got the DRS benefit like me, us and Carlos, and we're able to just hold off Carlos into turn 1, and now we come through turn 2 here, and we're right on the back of Gasly. We got DRS here, and we might be thinking about making an overtaking manoeuvre into turn 3. Will we be close enough? We have a look to the inside, but we're not close enough to Pierre, so we're much quicker than Gasly, so it's quite frustrating. So we have to sit behind the Toro Rosso driver in for the whole middle sector, and we just lose time. Carlos is a bit closer to us than we are to Pierre, but now with the slipstream DRS, we will be able to make this overtake with the Ferrari power car compared to the Honda power quite easily into turn 1, as now we move up into P13, and we'll be chasing
Nice
after.
move. Good job.
Thanks, Jeff. So now we'll be chasing after the points playing, because as you can see the cars on the mini-map ahead, that's all where the points are. So we're going to be chasing after Ocon, who's chasing after the rest of the pack, but it doesn't takes us to lap 25 to start up to reach Hulkenberg, who's been overtaken by Esteban Ocon now. And now we have a situation here where we do have an opportunity to get points if we can clear Hulkenberg into this turn 3. It's got to be done here if there's any chance for us to score points today. So now slipstream DRS working unlike it was in qualifying. We're going to have a look to the inside, really looked, but we just weren't close enough, unfortunately, and now we have to sit behind Hulkenberg for the whole of this second sector. So we have a quarter oversteer moment, and you can see ahead Ocon is all over the back of Fernando Alonso looking for that single point. That is where we are trying to be. So that's
There's
where the
only
points
one
are.
lap of fuel remaining.
Thanks,
The
Jeff.
gap to the car behind is 7.4 seconds.
Thanks, Jeff, for that useless information of the car behind. We don't care about the car behind. We care about the cars ahead. And now we know where the points are. We can see it. Fernando Alonso is just ahead, a couple of seconds up the road, but we're stuck behind Nico Hulkenberg, and we just haven't got the ability to overtake in this middle sector. It's very difficult. So we're actually just trying to save the battery here, and we're just losing time to Hulkenberg. So now we have a huge dive and hit the wall there, but make up a lot of time going through turn 15. As now we come onto the main straight, we will have DRS, and we've got quite a slipstream here. It's such a long straight that you just make up so much time, and we've got the benefit of the Ferrari powered engine compared to the Renault powered engine. So now we're coming through to start the final lap as we are just gaining time, hand over fist over Nico Hulkenberg on the straight. Hulkenberg tries to defend the position. We go to the outside and make that move quite
This is
easily.
your final lap. Final
He's not
lap of the
even-
race.
He's not even side by side as we head into turn
Great
1. We do
manoeuvre.
run
You
really
made it
wide
look
though,
easy.
and we've now got no chance to get the cars ahead. So now we're going to fight Hulkenberg. I don't know where the collision came from, but we've got quite a bit on it. We've made this more difficult than we needed to be by running deep into turn 1. But with the DRS, we managed to get it, I think, because we were behind Hulkenberg into turn 2, and we managed to hold on to P12 here for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix now on the final lap, as Ocon has taken that final point off Fernando Alonso to come now to finish the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in P12. So quite a good race, but could have been more.
Good job, you did really well. Super driving.
So P12 for the Grand Prix at Azerbaijan, as Ferrari have taken a 1-2 with Sebastian Vettel winning the Baku Grand Prix, with Kimi Räikkönen taking second, and Lewis Hamilton, after starting 15th on the grid, managed to take P3.
Just what set them apart from the competition here?
Well, I think the track conditions just really suited their car today. Wind, track temperature, you name it. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature. So the more easily you can keep them there, the better your race tends to go. And that's exactly what happened. Their car just looks so comfortable out there.
So here they come now, out onto the podium. Wherever you go, anywhere in the world,
So
the
unbelievable
prancing horse flags are
for
dominant
Hamilton
in the grandstands,
to finish third
and
after
they're
starting
out in force
15th.
again today.
It was obviously quite
It's
easy for the
Ferrari
Mercedes car
on the
to
top step
make
once
these
more.
overtakes, but Ferrari dominating the race quite comfortably, I'm pretty sure, after the rest of the field was just fighting with each other. The reason Valtteri Bottas isn't in the top 3, I think he did have some mechanical issues that were slowing him down earlier in the race, and he probably just couldn't get that buffer out to his teammate, so he had some power unit issues.
So
here
then,
today.
it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers'
So
Championship.
12th to us today,
It's a good
as
result
you
for
can see,
Sebastian Vettel, who
Vettel
moves further
quite clearly
ahead at the top
dominating,
of the
18-second
table.
victory
Moving
over
on to the
Räikkönen, who was
driver of the day then.
7
Anthony
seconds to
Davidson,
Lewis
who would you
Hamilton,
go for?
with
Well,
Verstappen
I have to give
4th,
it to Lewis Hamilton.
Bottas 5th,
You know, it was
Magnussen
just the kind of drive you'd expect
finishing
from a
P6, and
multiple world
actually
champion.
beats
Onto
out
the
Perez with
constructors then.
Ricciardo
Ferrari
8th, Grosjean
extend
9th,
their lead
and
at the
Ocon
top of the
10th.
championship.
So
There was also a strong
here's
showing
the
from the
driver
Mercedes
standings
team
now,
today
and
as they
we
make
do
their
have
way up
Sebastian
the standings.
Vettel
That's it
in
for today's Grand Prix, and from Anthony,
leading the
it's
championship, with
goodbye,
Ferrari leading the
and see you
constructors. We
again
have
next
our
time.
6 points, 11th in the standings right now, 7th for the constructors, so not a bad first 4 races, but we're looking to improve. We've only scored points around China, which is unfortunate once again. I could not bring to you guys. It was quite a fun race, actually, quite enjoyable. Had quite a few moments in that one, but he's now
Day to
at
day.
interview
Tell
with
us
Claire.
about it from your perspective. Your team must be ecstatic with how you're performing.
So yeah, lost a bit of a reputation, I'm pretty sure, from these interviews, but here we do get the sportsmanship
You
increased.
left a lot of paint on the walls today. Were you struggling for grip, or did you just misjudge some corners?
Yeah, so this is where we lose reputation, so it's unfortunate, but that's how it is sometimes with these interviews.
Than Formula 1 today, wasn't it?
And we lose more reputation, I'm pretty sure. Yep, because these questions that are probably
your time.
in the future will be going no comment for these questions, because it's quite silly. Like, I mean, we had I think it's referring when it comes to dodgems with Nico Hulkenberg, it was barely anything in that, which is quite weird. I still think if it was quite a substantial hit, then maybe we'd have something to talk about. But yeah, that's how that went down. So now here's a look at our rivalries, and we have a rivalry with Flange Stroll. I thought for the first rivalry I'll take it quite easy and pick an easier opponent. We are here with Leclerc. We're just beating out our teammate right now, 18 to 17. Quite unfortunate for him. I think he was ahead of us, but because of the race performance, he wasn't able to finish. We have jumped back ahead of him in the rivalry. Getting some quite good resource points here from the Baku Grand Prix as well, and the qualifying 16th or better. I assume that's from the last race in China, because we only qualified 19th here today, and the seat of reputation going down after our questions with Claire. But
That's a great result. You did really well. I don't think we can have any complaints with that performance.
So Jeff's still interrupting us with us. I mean, I understand from the Sauber point of view, we're probably the second worst car on the grid, so they are quite happy when you
Here we can adjust the
finish
terms
top.
of our
But here
proposal.
now we have our
The
first
more
contract
ambitiously we set
negotiation
our
of the season.
targets, the more willing the team will be to give us better perks. We'll have a few chances to suggest a deal, but we need to be careful. If a proposed contract exceeds your value to the team, it will be rejected, and too many attempts will leave us stuck with the original offer.
So yeah, so first contract renegotiation for the Sauber team. We have now, I've tried to get the first driver role, which is quite important because you get extra resource points with that role. So I've gone for first driver here. Also just upping the qualifying position to 16th because I believe we are able to get the car through to Q2, and we do have updates coming which will help us get the car through to Q2, but I think the car is good enough to be in Q2 despite where we are on the performance chart. I think me and Shell have shown that we can out-qualify other cars around us. And when it comes to the contract perks, I thought it was best to get level 1 on the race, just as many resource points as possible. The more resource points we have is the better. And then I also went level 1 on upgrades, being able to do simultaneous upgrades while keeping the level 2 on
Okay,
upgrade
that
speed.
proposal looks good. It seems all parties are happy with the deal, so it'll commence at the next race weekend.
And that will be good. So we have got our first contract negotiation. You can see there on the contract value just under where our potential value is, so really close and just quite ideal. So that is a good first contract here as we're now looking through our driver details, as we're now just going to look through the R&D and the performance. As you can see, all the parts that we have coming. You can see the engine now after Baku is quite worn, and you got to make a decision whether we want to keep this engine for Spain. At this time, I'm thinking I was gonna just run this engine for practice sessions in Spain and then put in a fresh components that we need for the Spanish Grand Prix. But that was you'll see in the next episode why we end up going against that in the race. As here you can see the gearbox is also really quite worn, and we have to get this gearbox to the end of Monaco to not take a grid penalty, which is quite unfortunate. At 69%, it's quite unlikely that we're going to have a grid penalty because we're going to incur some problems in the next races. Unfortunately, the event gearbox is still quite good. Probably doesn't really, this doesn't affect grid penalties or anything, so we can change that out whenever needed. As you can see, the standings here, Vettel has quite a comfortable lead from Kimi Räikkönen in the drivers' standings, and just going through the R&D tree here, deciding what parts are going to be best for us to take into or to upgrade before the Spanish Grand Prix. We've got 1,800 resource points to decide if we want to upgrade on the chassis or on the aerodynamics. So yeah, as we now we'll head into the next weekend here for Spain. So thanks you guys for watching today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and we'll see you next time for episode 4 at the Spanish Grand Prix.